What's up, boys? Welcome back to another private lesson. Today I have a special episode for you guys. I'm not just gonna be watching one replay, but I'm gonna be watching 3 replays, I believe. And the reason for that is because you guys keep sending me PROTOSS cheese. Okay, obviously these replays are kind of short, so we can fit multiple in an episode. But you guys just keep sending me you guys getting cheese by PROTOSS. So I'm just gonna look at a couple of them and yeah, hopefully teach you guys how to defend those annoying builds. And I believe there are 3 different cheeses from what I read from the description, so make sure to stay tuned for the other games as well. Now this one, sent in by Calithia, said it's a 5-minute TVP. I played where the guy plays proxy double robo. He has 2 immortals at the same time as I have 3 marines out. I'm at 4k MMR, by the way. I got smoked, and I have no idea how I would have stopped that. Maximum memes. Alright, so let's have a look. The SCV Scout, by the way, guys, you would think it's early, but this is actually a perfect timed SCV Scout because this guy is playing random. He's not just PROTOSS, he's playing random. And then he's cheesing you. I know, guys. Leave your BM in the comments. So, yeah, if you play against random, you have to get that early SCV Scout in, which is kind of annoying for you, I guess, but at least you did the right thing here, scouting very early at 16. So let's see. Now, this is actually kind of a weird situation because normally you wouldn't scout this that early, right? Like, this is not even... Like, he has 2... I think you may even be able to block a normal Nexus with this SCV Scout. So this is kind of weird. At this point, you might not even be sure if it's a 1-base or not because the Scout is so ridiculously early. But obviously you're going to see the double gas here. So you're going to confirm it. So that's good stuff. Yeah, so well, first of all, this is a bit questionable, right? If you see someone 1-base in you, like the read here is not that the Nexus is late, because if you scout that early, the Nexus might not be down already. But when you go in his main and you see 6 workers on gas, that's a pretty big tell. So this CC, you can totally make it, but definitely get it on the high ground, right? Because this is obviously a dedicated 1-base all-in or whatever this is, a proxy Stargate expand. Whatever, but it's not normal, okay? So you can definitely get away with making that expand on the high ground. Now, wait, your depot is late, I think. Yeah, your depot is a little bit late. So that's a small, making some small mistakes here. I mean, the CC on the low ground may be a bigger mistake, but yeah, some small mistakes overall. Factory is a little bit late as well. Now let's see. Ideally, you keep making marines out of this. Now the supply block is actually hurting you a lot. Ooh, the reactor. No, that's yeah. I discussed this in my anti-PROTOSS cheese video before. If you play against stuff like this, like a reactor, guy, it takes so long to build. A reactor almost takes as long to build as this factory, okay? You really can't get away making this reactor. If you need units to defend, you just make marines, okay? You just make naked marines. If you didn't make this reactor and didn't make the supply block, I didn't have the supply block, you actually would have had 3-4 marines more easily at the start, you know. And you weren't sure what this was. I think you still haven't scouted it actually. So if this is a normal proxy gate, you just get owned because you have 1 marine. There's like a stalker. Yeah, I mean there's nothing you can really do at this point. So I do have to add that the bunker and the high ground, that's a really good touch, because if you scout 6 guys in gas, that means it's actually a tech proxy. So yeah, that's the biggest tell, like I said before. That means it's actually a tech proxy, so Stargate, you know, like maybe Void Race here or something like that, proxy robo, something like this, you know. So this bunker and the high ground is definitely a good touch. This reactor is actually a pretty big mistake though. Like, now you see it. Like, his robos are almost done and you're look at the build. Nice. Look at the build time of this reactor. Like, legit, look at it. It actually takes forever. Look how slow it is. Like, just looking at it should make you realize that you can't get away with making that reactor right. Also, another thing that you can try is if you have more marines here and you scout this, you can actually SCV pull against this. But I don't know, on this map it's maybe a little bit far because the main feels pretty big. But if it's a close one, and you actually do make marines, like normally you would have had probably 3 marines by now, you can actually consider SCV pooling this. If you're not confident in the hold, it's something you can try. Now, yeah. Honestly, you're making a bunch of small mistakes here. I have to be honest, right? Your CC was on the low ground. That's a mistake. Like in this case, you finish it, but that's definitely a mistake. You know, to get it straight. You were supply blocked, and then you made a reactor. Like you're actually, I think you would have had 4 or 5 Marines right now, if you didn't do any of this. Then you make a bunker in the low ground, which has no chance of surviving. There's 2 Immortals building, or 1 Immortal and a Prism. Like this bunker is it's pretty much a waste of money. How you want to do it when you scout this and you don't want to go for the SCV pool? You make bunkers like a little bit further back, so not here, but you want to make it like so they can't just shoot it for free from the low ground. And then you want to make straight tanks from the factory, and you just want to protect your tank no matter what. So once the Prism is out, you want to be covering your tank with some SCVs and Marines so he can't drop Immortals on it. And that's the ideal defense. Like the bunker, the low ground is useless. Like a 2 robo, this is really all in, guys. This is so all in. Okay, there is no need for a transition. You defend and you win. Like this is not necessary. You just need some bunker here. This bunker is actually pretty okay. I think I would probably build it a bit further back as well.
Our SCVs are under attack.
So let's see what happens. Like I meant this bunker's gonna die. You also you didn't saturate this gas in time, so you're actually not gonna be able to afford a tank for a long time. And honestly, guys, if you analyze this replay yourself and you find these mistakes one by one, it doesn't seem like a big deal. But now I'm showing you guys all of them. You probably realize how big of a deal everything here is, right? You're missing 4 Marines. You're missing 100 minerals from this. You're missing, I don't know how much it is. Like you even made a Cyclone instead. You're missing like maybe like 15 seconds on your tank production because you weren't mining the gas. You don't have a bunker to cover the top.
Base is under attack.
This is all pretty rough. So you are gonna pull the SCVs. That's good. The Cyclone, by the way, that's a bad choice. Like I said, you need the tank. Cyclone doesn't really do anything because the Prism comes in. You lock onto an Immortal, it gets picked up, and the lock-on is gone, right? So you just need the siege tank. When you have 2 bunkers up, bunker here, and then you have a siege tank and a Viking, that's when you get safe. Because if the Prism goes in, it's gonna die 100% to the Viking if you micro it, right? And then the tank is just to make sure he can't just take pot shots like this. Like if you have a tank here right now, imagine you have the appropriate Marine count. You could have a bunker here and here, and they're both almost filled up. Maybe you have like 6-7 Marines. And you have a tank here, so he won't just be able to kill the depot on the wall. And the bunkers are protecting it. And then you have a good defensive situation, right? Like, the Cyclone is actually... Unless he messes up hard, the Cyclone is not going to add too much to this. Let's see what the PROTOSS is going to do for now. There's the Prism already. Let's look at the Cyclone. Get the lock on. He even kills the Cyclone. Yeah, that's even more of a shame. But yeah, look, it's just you need to have the defensive setup, because even if you don't die right away, he's gonna be able to kill these add-ons, go in here, and then the only place you can hide a tank from the Immortals is like down here or something, and it becomes a total mess, you know. You really need to get that proper setup going, have enough Marines, get the bunker here and here, get a protected tank, and now you get the Viking out. And this Viking is a huge deal, you can see it here. Now he's just gonna have to run. Oh, he's actually gonna YOLO it. I mean, you don't really seem to have enough units. This is a pretty big micro mistake here. Like, you could have easily pulled all the SCVs and fought with 7 Marines. And either forced a recall or, yeah, killed the Immortals. Ah, he does have a recall, yeah, so probably force a recall, I guess. And then you're safe for a bit. You can try to rebuild. But now, yeah, landed Vikings against Immortals, that's a yikes. Those don't fare very well at all. Luck. Oh. Let me get some soap to wash my eyes. Proxy double robo Stargate. Okay, I'm not sure what the Stargate is for. Maybe to lift your tanks or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's what he's gonna do. He also wasn't macroing at all, by the way, so maybe that's why he did it. Now the Prism is dead, and he never remade it. So now the Cyclone is actually useful somehow. I don't think I would have ever seen it. But look how much damage it takes. It's so fragile, right? You don't look for a second and it's basically dead. Now you're gonna have to repair that all up again. No, yeah, to be honest, this is... I don't need to explain you guys how to deal with the Oracle. Like, everything went wrong here and I don't know. The Oracle may have been a mothership that would end the game, you know. He's not even gonna end the game with it. Alright, GG. Yeah, so, in my opinion, the biggest mistake is making the reactor. Making the reactor and the supply block, because he had no units to deal with it at all. Then, other big mistake was getting that Cyclone instead of the tank. And besides that, I feel like everything was kind of small. But yeah, those were definitely the biggest mistakes. So fix those, and I think you should definitely be able to hold this. Alright boys, let's check out some of the other disgusting Protoss builds. Alright guys, game number 2. And this one seems to be a spicy one. Because the description is, hey, I killed his DTs for free, I'm winning. But a couple minutes later, 20 charge zealots with +1 A move me. Sounds very relatable, right, guys? I'm sure you all feel very very attacked right now. So this is gonna be a good one. Send in by Decisit, one of my lovely Twitch subs. So let's see. I feel like this is a very common problem. My friends complain about this. Even I see this in a lot of pro games as well. That the DDTs don't do damage, but the follow up is the real killer somehow. So we're gonna get to the bottom of this. Oh, this I think the armor was 4.4k, 4.3k, 4.4k, so a little bit higher than the last replay, but roughly in the same MMR range. I'm not sure what that is. That's like low masters, I think, right? If I'm not getting my my leagues mixed up. So it looks like we're gonna go for a normal expander. This guy was actually PROTOSS, I believe, and not random. Thank God for that. Oh wait, he's also making a double gas. Man, I have all these Protoss players in this like 4k, 5k MMR range. They're so cheeky, man. They always do some weird stuff. So we're gonna go for the safe SCV scout. I like it. Nice and safe. That's how I like to see it from my from the boys. I wonder if he's just doing it kind of looks like he's just doing his build a bit poorly. I'm not even sure that he's cheesing. And that's when it gets annoying, right? You watch my guide and it's like, okay, so if I scout at 337, he's gonna have this. And else he's blink coloring, and this guy is like, let's find all the gas for no reason and then expand. That's what it looks like, at least like it's gonna do. Yeah, it's rough, guys. Oh, there we go. He's actually doing it. You mind a million gas for no reason. And then we're expanding. Okay. So we're going for, okay, Reaper Reactor. Cool build. Nice, nice standard opener. I feel like this is pretty safe. Okay, so the Reaper is staying at home. Probably because you already have the scouting information from the SCV scout. Actually going down. Safety bunkers, oh, I like it. Looking good so far, to be honest. Yeah, you're executing the build very properly. I like it. Getting everything in the right order. So here's the Twilight. This Reaper is probably gonna have to move out at some point to go for a scout. I think you did. Like it's a bit weird for you to see because as you saw, he mined so much gas. So it's kind of a weird scout, right? To see that much gas and no tech. But you did see the appropriate amount of pylons, so it doesn't look super suspicious. And here's the here's the Reaper. See a sentry. Now, one thing is, guys, normally if you see a sentry, I was thinking about doing a video on scouting, by the way. So just something is that you always need to connect the things that you see. So normally a sentry would indicate it's not a fast tech rush, but because he mined gas so fast, it could still be literally anything. It just means his economy is worse than normal, right? But even though it's a sentry, it could still be anything. Just because he has all that gas mined. We're gonna go for a mine. Alright. Seems pretty legit. Wonder if that Reaper's gonna scout anything else. Okay, yeah, he's doing a super fast charge with DT Shrine. Maybe that's why he got the gas so fast, I'm not sure. Like, his economy is terrible. This actually Look at this. He sacrificed all of his economy for this build. This is like... This is like a pretty hardcore all-in actually. Kind of... How do you say? Masked. As a normal build, you know? But it's... It looks like he's doing a pretty hardcore all-in from the economy. Like, if you would send a Reaper in here, you would see that his economy is actually pretty garbage. Looks like he didn't use a single chrono on the next side either. Let's see, Forge, DT Shrine, what do we have? Oh, you're making a Hellion after the mines? That's kind of interesting actually. Normally you make the Hellion before the mines. I wonder what the thought process behind that was. Also guys, one thing that actually is almost universally assigned that it's DTs is a lack of gateway units. Because building a DT shrine plus gates usually means you don't have any money for units. So if you see only 2 units for a long time, or sometimes in the most extreme cases only 1 unit, that usually only happens on the maps where you can like wall off the Reaper cliff, right? That's usually a pretty strong sign of DT. So because you saw barely any gateway units, you had some reason to be suspicious in this case. So DTs are coming in and you have... I don't think you have any detection. You do have a scan. So you said you killed the DTs for free. Now I'm just curious how on earth you did that. What is that reaction time? Is this Maru? Oh, that's painful. That's like a dagger in the heart. The fucking 2 HP DT. I mean, you almost have a new scan, I believe. 8 seconds. Oh, that's... That reaction speed, man, is beautiful. But then the DT surviving on 2 HP. Now, he should just... Honestly, if I played against a Terran that reacted that fast, I would give the DT away, you know. You deserve it. Alright, now I'm not sure what happened to your attack. Medevac's on the way. Let's see what your Hellion saw. Okay, so you actually... Okay, so this is kind of annoying because I feel like you scouted everything you need to know. But did you actually? Because of the DTs. Let's see if you paid attention to it. Probably not, right? No. Okay, so the thing that you scouted here is actually just extra gates. For a DT attack, they're always gonna have... Well, this guy only has... No, he does have 3. Yeah, they always have 3 gates. I guess some weird build could be 2 gates or 4. But the fact that you see 2 extra gates means that there is definitely an attack coming. Even more combined with the lack of gases. The lack of gases, guys, that's the #1 sign for an attack on 2 base. If you're ever wondering how you scout like a charge all-in or a glaives all-in or something like this, it's the lack of gases here. Unless they take a 3rd. But even if they take a 3rd with lack of gases, they're still going to be pretty all-in. Like, they're probably going to attack with a lot of gateway units and stuff. So your Hellion actually scouted pretty much everything you need to know in this case. I mean, you're still taking a bit of damage. Actually, yeah, no, it's not for free. Like, you didn't kill them for free, but you killed them very impressively, to say the least. Like, I think you got a bit ahead, but you also took some damage and the mining time. And scans are pretty big as well. I think he also could have sent 2 more DTs and it would have been tough, you know. So you kind of you're lucky with that. Now, yeah, what really sucks is that you didn't scout it, and your mineral what is this called? Ratio is also really off. I think you took a lot of SCVs off minerals, but you mined gas all the time or something like this because you. Yeah, this is very... I really don't know how this happened, actually. I'm gonna go back a little bit. Why do you have so much gas? Like, you were supply blocked for a pretty long time. Okay. You're definitely overmaking depots a little bit. Like, the barracks should already be down. That's all I can tell. Why do you have so much gas? I'm actually not sure why you have that much gas. Maybe it's just scans? Like, you had I guess you had a little bit of overgas. and then the 2 scans made it even worse, combined with having to cancel on eBay. I guess that's the that's basically what happened. All right. So now, yeah, what I was gonna say. What sucks is that you have the information, but I don't think you actually realize because you don't seem to be taking any preparation for it, and that ratio is really messing you up. Like you're not producing any units at this point. Look, they're all. And if anything, if you realize what you scouted, this would have been your focus, you know, not all the buildings that you're making, everything. Like you haven't been producing a unit for a minute. Like this is crucial. Like. If you scout a 3rd and Colossus, maybe, you know, but yeah, you scouted extra gateways, you even scout another gateway here if you weren't paying attention. You know there's no 3rd base. Yeah, your production facility, they're still AFK, man. I think honestly, you played a great game. Your build looked solid. A little bit too early on the gas maybe or something like that. Very fast reaction against the DTs, but you just haven't been producing units for a long time, and you're also not reacting to the scouting information at all. If you know this is coming, what you usually do is you make a small wall. For example, these depots, I think you made like 3 or 4 of these depots after you scouted the gates, maybe even more. They would have all been here. You would have had an extra bunker, and then the zealots can't just walk in, and it's very difficult. This all-in is even without a robo, I believe. Yeah, you can't even get into the main. Like, this is just pure brute force to the front. If you have, like, obviously you missed a lot of production. Like you're missing a ton of units here. You're missing like 8 units, more maybe. If you have 8 more units and a wall off, you're not gonna lose to this. You know, the zealots are gonna charge on the bunker that's being repaired. Even if they break it eventually, there's nothing. But here you just don't have a chance. Like, yeah, you dealt with the DTs well, but you didn't react to the scouting information. The macro wasn't on point, and that's it. Yeah, tips. It's kind of hard to give you tips here. You scouted a thing. If you looked at all the gateways that finished, you didn't just see gateways building here with the Hellion, which you could have checked after, even if it died. You saw another gate finish here. There was no 3rd. You didn't see the gases. I think you only saw this gas when the Hellion drove by, maybe. And you should have known that that a push was coming, and made a wall off, made some bunkers. And that's the thing in Zealots. These attacks look very strong, but if you have a wall off, they can't attack into it, or they will just lose all their units, and then they have to go back. And you know you macro up, and you're having a good advantage. But in this case, you just didn't react well enough to the scouting. You were distracted by the DTs. Understandably so. Honestly, with the resources you had, you should have lost to the DTs, I think. But you had an amazing reaction, but you didn't react to the things you scouted on the other side of the map, and that's it. So yeah, once again, fast conclusion: make the wall, get an extra bunker, maybe even 2 extra bunkers, and this is a hold for sure. All right, guys, let's go to cheese number 3. All right, guys. Cheese number 3 is here. Another PvP, obviously, around 4k MMR, and the beautiful caption of this one was, "How do I defend this? Lol." And then the replay is called Blinkstalker all in is cheesy. So yeah, I guess we know what's coming. So let's see. We're playing with dark gray, or what is it? Does it show my color? I'm not sure actually. StarCraft Pro, by the way. Okay, so we're going to go gas first. You know what I really like about this replays as well, that a lot of you guys are using build orders from my guides. So I'm usually just curious which one it's gonna be. You know, like the last one was from my basic TVP build, I believe. And I don't know. I think I only did one gas first one, so it's not too likely this one is from one of my guides. But let's see. This guy is very afraid of you. Sent in by Beta Star, by the way. Obviously also one of my Twitch soups. Playing as Mr. Zim. Or is it Zilim? No, it's Zim. Okay. I don't know if you have a reputation or if this guy is very paranoid or something, but yeah, he definitely doesn't trust you in this game. Where is he going, man? Scouting the entire map with this pro. Ah, you're scouting at the safe timing as well, 18. Or was it a 17? I'm not sure. But a good scout timing. Safe and early. I like it. I have to say though, scouting with gas first is expensive. So if you play a gas first, be sure about it, because gas first is just a poor build. You don't have that much money, so if you SCV scout as well, as you can see, like it's not too bad. You can do it. I do it too sometimes, but yeah, your factory is gonna be a little bit late. You might struggle a bit to make your depots on the perfect time and stuff. So if you do gas first with scout, make sure that you actually have to scout. If you don't get early cheesed a lot, or if your opponent's a macro player, ideally you skip that scout when you play gas first Reaper. Dude, he actually scouted the entire map. He went all the way over here and all the way here. That's pretty crazy. And you're just chilling. And what did you see with your SCV? Not too much really. Just the normal stuff, I guess. SCV is alive. That's yeah. You just made sure you weren't getting messed up in the early game, and that's it. No bunker. Makes sense because you're playing gas first, right? Reaper scouting around a bit. I think you're both playing very safe. He's probably playing a bit overly safe with that. He didn't just probe scout your base, he also scouted the entire map, so definitely a match of the safe boys. Go for some Hellions, I assume. Here we go. CC's already finished. Reaper survives, very nice. Looks like we're gonna go for kind of a Banshee build here. Play against the Twilight as expected. At the front even, okay. Hellions are gonna come out. Let's see. Okay, more Hellions. Could be the mind drop build still, I guess. So far we're good. Okay, so it is actually Banshee, nice. I actually kind of like this build. I think it's pretty cool. Probably gonna kill that first Adept then. 4 gateways, wild. That's a really nice catch. It feels really good killing that Adept. You know, everyone hates that feel when you're just sitting here and you have to close these depots every how much is it? 14 seconds, because the Adept is just like shade. Alright. No, like, yeah, this build looks pretty well executed. This depot is maybe a little bit late. Saturation is a little bit off. Just try to pay attention to those timings, by the way. It's not super huge, but just like any good economic management is going to help you out a lot. So once you have 16, just rally it to the natural. Don't like transit workers or anything. Just rally it there and that's it. Oh, this looks juicy. The grenade. Beautiful, beautiful. Into the main, I hope. Yes. Love it. Okay. How many pros are we killing here? 5. Definitely a very good attack here. Missing a few probe kills. Probably could have killed one or two more maybe. With some better target firing, but that's it. Now, I don't think... Oh, you didn't actually scout it. Oh, that's messed up. Yeah, that's a bit unlucky. So you scouted a robo. For you, yeah, if you saw the 4th gate, that's a no-brainer, right? But in this case, this actually looks kind of normal. This guy is doing the blink all-in, but he didn't execute the build 100%, so his robo's a bit late. So it doesn't look like there are signs here of a blink attack. But you did kill a lot of probes, and you have a good setup for, you know, to defend it. I'm definitely missing a bunker here, though. Like, I'm not sure why there's not a bunker here. Like, you know you're playing against Blink. But, you know, Twilight's right here. So, I'm not sure how you're expecting to defend this without a bunker. Banshee goes in. Gonna get a lot of kills. Like, you're playing fantastic up until this point. Just, like, the bunker's really missing. Why can't he just walk in here? That's a pretty big oversight, I think. And this is exactly why. Like, this natural... I feel like you're still in a winning position, you know. 12 SCVs up. A lot of money in the bank. Probably could drop down a third. There's ideally some extra barracks, by the way. If you play against Blink all-in, the barracks usually go before the 3rd command center. But yeah, this natural should just be up and mining at this point. So not having that bunker is a pretty big oversight, I would say. And here we have the curse of Death Aura, guys. There's no space in the main to build, so your CC is there. And yeah, that's kind of a map issue. I think personally there is one way to get around this only. And that is to make your buildings behind the mineral line. But this actually takes a bit of practice. So if you wanna try this out, make sure you try it against the AI first or in a custom game. You can actually get some buildings behind your main, like you can get your barracks here, your factory, your starport behind the mineral line without blocking the tanks, most importantly. And then your third CC would be here. That's actually a good way to get around it. It's just a building placement tip if you guys want to test it out. I think it's a really good building placement. Because like this, I mean, you'll get away with it most of the games, right? But obviously this game is not looking like one of them. Because you don't want to be sieging your tanks here, then blink and dead. If the CC is here, your tank can literally be back here and cover everything. So, you know, put some time into thinking about building placement, in particular on this map, because the main is so small. Now, this is just a massive error in tank positioning. This is the most vulnerable tank I've ever seen, I think. Like, it doesn't look like he sees it, so you might get lucky, but this tank is in front of all the production, and it doesn't really cover anything. It just covers the outside, and he could see it and blink on it, you know. This tank always behind the production. This tank is also way too far forward. You need to have the tanks covered. This is I literally have a video on a Blinkolin as well. Check it out if you have to. But tanks are the most important part in a Blinkolin. Look at his economy, right? You're not even mining from your natural yet. You're about to land it, and he doesn't even have workers. Oh, you don't even need to own him. You need to live, and you win this game. This tank is exposed, and this tank is exposed. Tanks always have to be behind cover. For example, one tank here, one tank here, and your natural is covered, and your main is covered. This third's gonna die, but no one cares. This shouldn't ever get up anyway in this position. But now, like, I don't know, it's a very bad tank position, to be honest. They're both very exposed, and they will get picked off by any attack. So you really have to mind that. You see, he's not even blinking properly, and he's still gonna kill it for free. He doesn't even lose one stalker for it. And then another big mistake. Like, this is auto tanks. I feel like it's a shame because everything you did this game was so good. The Hellion attack was good. The build order was good. Like, you're transitioning well. Just that you're sieging your tanks in his face and losing them. This and yeah, without tanks, it's just really annoying. He's gonna blink down, and then he's gonna kite you forever. You know. Oh, that's unfortunate actually. That Banshee was pretty big. Now this CC, yeah, it's just useless. And now you have one tank that's also still exposed. I think he might not blink on that one. He might actually, yeah, he has enough stalker. He can do. Excuse me. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't target fire. They're just too exposed. You should have had 3 tanks alive here, and there's nothing he can do. He could YOLO for it and lose a lot of stalkers, but right, like without tanks, Marines and Banshees and SCVs, they're literally useless. They're just gonna run after his stalkers. You get some red ones, but you can't ever finish off this ball of stalkers. You really need to keep your tanks alive, and that's the #1 priority. Give up your command center for your tanks if you have to. Like, sorry guys, I'm a bit itchy. I realized I just did that a few times. Like, all you have to do is protect your tanks at all costs. You, like, really, build a freaking barracks in front of it to protect it. Especially in this game, you did so much damage. You killed 14 workers, you were 15 supply up, you had enough units to defend already, but then you just kept sieging your tanks in his face. And that's all there is to it. You can't micro your Marines any better. Sure, you cannot, you know, trickle a few away, but these Marines are not doing anything anyway. Those Marines literally exist to cover your siege tanks. You need to have your tanks covered. That's it. I know it sounds, it's simpler. No wait, it sounds simpler than it is, but just prioritize it. That's it. I feel like a lot of times you're like, I have like 12 Marines and 2 tanks, so I also don't want to lose my Marines, and you know, my CC down here needs to finish and stuff, but the only thing that matters here is that you keep those tanks alive and put them in a decent... Now your tanks are actually decently positioned. This one is still a little bit far forward, but this is actually a good tank position. You know, you should have flown the CC away a while ago or even cancelled it. Now this is a good position, you see. It covers this. He can't really push in, and it's not gonna get sniped. If he wants to blink on it, he's gonna lose his stalkers, and that's a good position. But it looks like it's too late here. You don't have any Raxes up. You don't have a third CC anymore. So at this point, it is actually too late. Unless he messes up massively, of course. You see, now they're in a good position. He doesn't even want to try to blink on him. I think he could actually blink on him because he... What is this? 12 Stalkers against 3 tanks. I think he could still blink on it, but he doesn't even want to anymore. Before, just check it out. Like right now, you're doing a good job, right? Like I said, this one's a bit too far forward. I would have preferred it to be like here. But right now, you have the same amount of tanks and 10 less Marines. And I think when he attacked, he had 3 less Stalkers than he has now. But now he's afraid, right? That's how big the difference is. He had less units and you had more. But he totally killed all of your units, but now he's afraid. But yeah, it looks like he's just gonna blink on that one because it's very exposed. That's your one weakness in the defense. Ooh, especially with that second 10 coming in. This, oh, and the unsiege. Oh, you got away lucky there. Also, small tip, if you can, with this build, if they do it properly, this observer is always there, guys. It's always there. Sometimes they'll siege it here, or sometimes they'll be here, but it's always there. And this observer sees all your tank movements. So don't ever move your tanks thinking, he's not paying attention right now. I can move my tanks. No, this motherfucker over here, okay? He sees everything. The vision is huge. Where is it? Where is he? Look at the vision of this guy, okay? He sees all your tank movements. Like, he sees everything. Unless you snipe it, just assume he's always gonna blink on your tank when it's vulnerable, okay? Just assume it. He sees everything. Well, he didn't probe up a lot, so I feel like there's like a little bit of hope, but not really, you know. He can make charge. He's gonna chrono boost his nexus a few times. He's gonna be on 7 gateways. Somehow he hasn't started charge yet, but yeah, this game, it's pretty hopeless at this point. And even now, you don't have any Marines. You have like 4 Marines. If you make one mistake with your tank positioning, if you move one, he's still gonna blink on them and kill them, you know? And it's just annoying. Doesn't this feel, 5 Stalkers? Yeah, at least you have a good tank count now. Yeah. Also, just make sure, if you have time, check it and scan the observer and kill it, you know? Like, it's a huge deal if you get it. That was actually a really good third CC positioning because he messed himself up on it. But yeah, he just has too much stuff. He lost too many tanks. Wait, can we see that somehow? He's like... No, I don't think so. Okay. He's just too rich at this point. It snowballed. And that's what happens with this build. You let your tanks die a few too many times. You have to give up a lot of mining time, a lot of positioning. And it snowballs, you know. It's rough. You have to do it right from the start. So yeah, honestly, I have to say, fantastic game by you. The opener was great. The harassment was great. It was just the tank positioning. I don't know if you were too confident. I don't know if you weren't aware that was all about the tanks. But that's really just what it is. Put those tanks in better positions. Think about the building positioning on this map if you don't want to have the CC that far out there. Also, get your bunker after this push, especially against Blink. You just let him walk up and you lost a lot of mining for it. And that's it. And honestly, fix those mistakes and this is the easiest win of your life. Like, you owned him and you had him in the bag. But yeah, you messed up a few times. Alright guys, well that's gonna do it for today's episode. A massive PROTOSS cheese private lesson. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was more like a small private class, you know. Like a multiple student teaching. It feels good. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Don't forget to sub to the channel, like the video. Check out my Twitch and sub there as well if you want to get your replay featured. And I'll see you guys for the next video then. Adios.